How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
All right, questions for Dante. We'll start right here on the right with Zach.
What's the competition like in the QB room with you and Austin are close, but what's it going like against him every day? How's that kind of relationship been like with you guys going for the starting spot?
I feel like overall, just in general, the whole quarterback room has been competing pretty well. There's spring that Coach Stein has just pushed us every day, just as a whole group. We're not worrying about who's going to start. We're not worrying about who's one, who's two. More of it's just in general, we're just all pushing each other. We're all out there. If a mistake happens, we're all coaching each other. Every time we make a great play, we're always congratulating each other. So it's just been a great quarterback room, great healthy room, and it's been going pretty good.
Second row on the right, Olivia.
There's a lot of high expectations for you heading into this season. Multiple of your former teammates have made some pretty bold claims. How do you deal with those high expectations? Do you silence the outside noise or do you kind of use it to motivate you?
Um, I just know Coach Landon always tells me pressure is a privilege. I just feel like I'm blessed to be here, blessed to be where I'm at. It's overall, just in general, I'm not really thinking about down the line the season or things like that. I'm thinking about every day, just how I'm getting better at practice, how I'm helping the team around me get better. But overall, like I said, it's always good to think ahead. But right now, I'm just living in the moment. Appreciate you.
Back left, Matt.
The last two quarterbacks that have played here have had historical season careers at Oregon. How much do you try to focus on just being you and not trying to replicate what they did at the position?
Yeah, just growing up, I've had great mentors, and one's being Cam Newton. And one thing he always told me is, control what you can control. And also, you don't got to do nothing special to be special. Really, it's just me, I just look at the past. I mean, you can go from Joey Harrington to Marcus Mariota to you got Darren Thomas, you got Bo Nix, you got Dylan Gabriel. Just so many great quarterbacks. But really, I'm just thinking about my style of play, how I can better the team, just how I can make myself feel comfortable on the football field. I've learned a lot from Dylan. I miss him a lot. I love him a lot. Praying for his success, but overall, just trying to master my game plan and make sure I can better myself every day.
Aaron in the back.
Feel like when you came here, decided to come back to Oregon, you were pretty honest about where you thought you were after your first freshman season at UCLA. Kind of looking back at last spring, what area would you say or areas you feel like you've grown the most since coming to Eugene?
The biggest thing I would say I've grown over the past year, when I transferred in, I kind of knew the team already since I was getting recruited here, committed, and knew everybody, knew all the old guys and younger guys. But I would say my leadership has grown a lot. When I first got here, I played in college football, so I kind of know how it feels to be out there in the field. But I just feel like just day by day, if it's, when I first wake up, get to the facility, or on the field, or in the weight room, just my communication to the players, understanding who I need to communicate in a certain type of way. But just leading by my voice, I know my actions are really well on the way of my routines every day and how I play on the field. But communication, there's really been something that's big with me, leadership. So I think I've been doing a pretty good job, and they always let me know if I'm doing good, doing bad. So I appreciate the, controversial between them.
Tyson in the middle.
Between your first spring at UCLA and then coming in here last year and learning behind Dylan, you've had quite the array of spring practices, and I'm curious, did you approach this one any differently?
Yeah, I mean, as a freshman, going to my first spring ball, I had a lot going on just mentally. I had to learn the plays. Had Coach Kelly, on my butt every day, screaming, just making sure I'd better myself. So I had a lot going on, just, learning the team out there. And then coming here last year, same boat, Coach Stein pushing me, had to learn the plays all over again. It was a lot going on, but I think this spring, I mean, I've been in the system for a year now. I'm really comfortable with the plays. I'm getting the protections really well. Just overall, everything's been pretty good. So I feel like I'm out there making more fast, decisive decisions. I've been protecting the ball really well. It's something I've always keyed on, is protecting the ball. I learned a lot my freshman year, but I feel like this spring has just been a better spring. I've been going out there flying around, having the juice, and just pushing everybody so they can push me.
Front left, James.
Following with that, Dante, what else has to change, if anything? And I mean more in the sense of you talk about execution or certain things, certainly. But when Dylan's not here, and this is looked at as between you and Austin, and those other intangible things in a meeting room, those talking to a team and addressing to a team that a backup may not feel as comfortable as doing when Dylan's here. What are those things that have to change that you've either already done or you plan to do? How you do and what you do over spring break is different when you're the backup versus competing for the starting job.
Yeah, I think I did a really good job last year, even though, I never thought of myself as a backup coming into spring and things of that. I always wanted to push to see if I could, push Dylan to better himself and he can push me to better myself. Like I said, I came in, I wasn't a mouse. I came in talking like I was gonna be the starting quarterback. I mean, we pushed each other in the weight room, in the facility, just every day. But I feel like just overall in general, I mean, understanding what my job was last year. Like I said, Dylan did a really good job competing and winning a lot of football games. But I came in the same way as I'm right now, just communicating, being the best I can be. I didn't have the mindset of being a backup. I just wanted to push myself every day, better myself every day, and Dylan did a good job for pushing me. But as of right now, I know what I need to do to better myself when it comes to extra work, just mentally, physically, also spiritually. So I've been doing really well, and I'm glad to be where I'm at.
Front right, Zach.
What was your biggest goal this offseason as far as training goes? Were you trying to bulk up a little bit, cut weight? I mean, what was your goal in the offseason?
My goal, Coach Love did a really, really well, good job with me. I'm blessed to have him as my strength staff coach. But really, it was just more just to get faster, cut down my body fat. I did really good with that. I had PR'd my fastest speed this spring, so of being here. So I've been doing really well. Really, it was physically just getting my body cut down, but mentally watching a lot of film, a lot of NFL quarterbacks, just seeing how they just be decisive on the football field. So mentally, I've just been learning a lot of concepts and physically cut down my body weight and got real way faster.
Back left, Matt.
Will's previously said that he likes to work with the quarterbacks to kind of formulate what the offense is going to look like that season. Obviously, there's core fundamentals that you'll try to do every year. But what's that process like of being involved in the room, of trying to find what works for you guys and what works for the offense?
Yeah, one thing I will say about being here with Coach Stein, I mean, I love him to death. He's played the quarterback position. He knows how it feels to be out there on the football field, how to be in the fire. So when it comes to him coaching us, he knows exactly how we're feeling. So like if we're off, missing a couple receivers at practice, he knows how to get us back in rhythm, a little quick short throw, things of that nature. So just having him just to relate to us and we all relate to each other as a whole group. I mean, he's done a really good job. He's taught me a lot, concept wise, just being out there on the football field, communicating, leading. It's the way I see defenses better. But overall, he's been a great coach. I appreciate him a lot. He pushing me every day, always telling me things I need to get better at. But I love him to death. He jokes around a lot, but he's a proud dad, and I appreciate him a lot.
Eric on the left.
Dante, I wanted your opinion on the new receivers, whether it be Malik, DeCorian, and Cooper, of just kind of what you've seen from those guys and how they might help your team.
Yeah, they dogs for sure. I mean, everybody sees the Corian, see what he's done. I mean, he's doing what's advertised. He's true to his talent. He's for sure been a guy that's came in. Texas football is different. I trained down there in Dallas. I got to see how they practice out there. They do spring ball. It's just it's serious out there. So him coming in, he already had the mindset of competing really well, but real fast. He's really good with feet. Got good hands and that nature. So he's for sure what people are saying is true. He's a for sure legit. Malik, real shifty, real fast. This whole off season we're getting together. He's been in college for quite some time now, so he knows how to push me. I know how to push him. He's a person that I've been around a lot these past couple months, and I love him to death. And he's been getting better out there, and making sure he makes his plays. And Coop, I mean, he's a silent assassin. I mean, he doesn't say much, but when the ball's in the air, he's making sure he's getting it. He's from AZ. It's a guy that came in quiet, making his plays, but like I say, everybody calls him Coop Sauce. So here he's making his plays and doing what he got to do. So we appreciate all of them that came in. Kept their head down and kept grinding and learning plays really well.
In the back, Aaron.
Gary told us earlier this week that he kind of had to step up after Saturday's practice and say that, the shoes are big to fill for this Oregon offense this season and that the offense needs to be a little bit better. How have you and your room kind of attacked that this week in practice, and what are some things that you're maybe focused on heading into this Saturday's practice?
Yeah, you can look at the pass, look at, all the passing yards, all the touchdowns. Like I already said about, controlling what you can control. But really, I mean, every day is just a way we're pushing ourselves out there. Like I said, it is big shoes to fill, but once you start to think like that, you start to think about, making mistakes and not being the best you can be. But once you think about your shoes and that the shoes you can better yourself and where your feet are at, I mean, you're going to keep grinding every day, understanding what you need to get better at. So, I mean, it's a great offense. It's Oregon. It's been great for many, many years. It's just a great spot to be at. But like I said, at the end of the day, as long as you're getting better 1% every day, that's all you need to do.
Two more. Front left, James.
Couple of on-field things, Dante. What have you gotten so far out of the GoPro footage that you guys have now this spring, just as a tool, as a learning tool? What has that been like? And we've made a lot of the last couple of years of the autonomy that Bo and Dylan had at the line of scrimmage to change plays, hot calls, those sorts of things. Do you have that same level of control and autonomy right now?
Yeah, I mean the GoPro is very, very useful. When I first got to college at UCLA, I had them. We had the GoPro on our helmet, so just being able to see our point of view. A lot of times you watch film, it's like a sky view, so you might miss a read, but you might be like, hey, how did I miss it? So having a GoPro just follows your eyes everywhere you're looking, just helps see where you need to be looking at in the right spots. Overall, it's been pretty good. We're all been using them. We all have a GoPro, so every day we're just all watching our film. We're hearing the audio of how we're communicating the huddle out there on the football field. So it's been pretty good. We all appreciate it. And then when it comes to having the mics in the helmet, it's a very helpful tool. Coach Stein communicates us pretty well, but he doesn't step on our toes. He doesn't tell us what to do. He doesn't tell us things like that because he knows what he's teaching us in the quarterback room. We're gonna be ready to go out in the field. So if we have a certain look, he knows he doesn't have to tell us to check it. He might tell us every once in a while, but he knows that how confident he is in us. So we're going to check the right play. So I know Bo and Dylan did a really good job with that, but we've been watching their film, watching how they're doing things like that. So we've been doing pretty well as a quarterback room.
Last question, Zach.
We haven't talked much this spring about Achille. I'm just curious. I know he's still trying to learn the offense and everything, but what are your early impressions of him so far?
Yeah, KJ, he's huge. He's tall. I didn't know he was that tall. He's young. He kind of has like the same mentality as me when I first got to college. His head's everywhere, kind of just trying to learn the plays, trying to be out there, fly around, being in college, like I told him, like, it ain't high school no more. We're a senior out there dominating everybody every day. You're going to get better. If you make a mistake, I mean, just come, talk to me, talk to the quarterback group about, what you need to learn from. But overall, he's a great guy. He's hilarious. He always has his little jokes. But overall, I'm hoping to make sure he helps him out every day. He's huge, but he's a pretty talented player. We can't wait to see what he can do.
All right, thanks, Dante.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.